Hey everybody, and welcome to my Dibia session 30 track breakdown. I did this mostly by and large on the M8. I did use the Korg Chaos Pad Mini 2S a little bit as an effect box to play sounds through, but effectively I just started with the samples that were posted on DiBiase's Discord server and ran everything through a Mood Mark II from Chase Bliss Audio, and just wanted to kind of see what I'd get for some sounds, just to see if I get like some movement. So I'm not going to go play the original sounds, but like here's one that like it was just a sample I kind of ended up with afterwards. I was like, this sounds like kind of cool, just like a I don't know, like a distorted kind of like sustained ish tone with like some movement to it. So I was like, I kind of like that. And ended up also with this, which was, I think this was from like the E-piano. I just recorded like a really short blip, and then the Mood, it can take it and kind of almost like pulse the audio. So you can kind of see at the end here, it like kind of pulses or gates it a little bit, and then it builds back in. I don't know. I just gave these super random names. So you kind of like hear some of these things as they come in or out as sounds. And what was this? Yeah, this was like, there's almost like a horn sound. And I just kind of like, as again, just another one I ran through the Mood, and it kind of like this weird movement. I think this is from the arpeggiator. So if you go find those sounds, you'll probably like, it'll make more sense. But with that, I've got these 64 slice kits that I've made, which is just like, this one's all kicks. So it just plays a bunch of kicks, and I just slice it up to 64 slices, and I can just kind of move through kicks real quick. I prepared this in Ableton Live. I did the same thing for, oh, I guess I didn't go the right way over. This is the snares. So just a whole bunch of different sounds, so I can kind of like cycle through stuff real quick. Got one for hats. Like some of these are like hats or crashes or whatever, but yeah, if I was to probably come back and do these, I would probably try and go like normalize everything or run it through a compressor just to have the sounds volume be about the same, because it can be a little bit of a pain to go keep coming in and tweaking stuff. Then I just have like this percussive one, which is a bunch of percussive sounds. And last but not least, I wasn't really happy with any of the basses I was getting, so I just loaded up and then started tweaking a synth here. But I was like, I kind of like this growl. I think the big thing I did was I really filtered it some more, and I took off some of like the reverb so it wasn't overstaying its welcome. But I kind of dug that. This is kind of what I ended up with, just putting together as an initial first track, or first part of the track, that I was like, I kind of like this. I was like, there's like enough, I don't know, grittiness. It sounded like a little unusual, had some fun movement to it. I was like, I feel like there's enough here to kind of work with. And then from here, you'll see like I got like this, a few variations where I was just trying to try out moving tracks in and out. And like this here was, I can tell because it's got just a first, it just basically is a trigger, and then it's a bunch of FEs. A lot of this is me running audio through the Chaos Pad Mini with different effects. And I think this one happened to be like a gating or tremolo kind of effect, where on the bass, I was like, I'll just do that. And then, if you're on like 50 here, you just hold shift and then option, you'll highlight it, double tap edit, and then just go to external USB if you've got things connected up as I've described in previous videos, and you can just resample stuff super quick through the using the M8 here. So really just trying to come up with like some new sounds. So like, you can kind of hear like there's some kind of weird sounds going on with that bass. It's like a little bit more growly, almost like a little bit vocal. And then 90 here was my first attempt. I actually hadn't done this before, but I think I've seen it. But if you go Shift Option and highlight multiple tracks and then double tap Edit, it will basically, you could use this as a way to resample multiple tracks down to one and save some space. And I did that and did also some work with the Chaos Pad Mini again here and got this kind of like glitchy and like a glitchy kind of things. Just have like a different change up. And I figured I wasn't like going to worry about like necessarily using the whole thing or kind of layer it with other stuff, but I wanted something different. And then kind of you hear like this is track. What I've been trying to do is keep the numbering the same for the same types of stuff, so I can look real quick. So like I can see like this is this track, but resampled with like some glitchiness and distortion to it, just to keep it kind of like moving. So because I wanted this track to, I was like, I like the core idea of this track, but I wanted stuff to kind of keep moving around. So, you know, just kind of see where things go. Like this one I kind of like because I was like, oh, like you can feel like that, the movement of the filter here, which was probably me just taking like the low pass filter and just kind of like very slowly kind of working my way through it as I was doing that resample record. And yeah, kind of kept going with like this mixed version, made like an even more messed up, glitchy, distorted version of the drums there, just to keep it going. So the overall, I mean, this was a lot of started with just like basic stuff where I'd have like a, you know, this one phrase for one bar. I've turned it into 4 bars by having like this nth command here, kind of plays a ghost note every second and fourth bar. And then here that we play this ghost note on the 4th bar only. So just kind of keep things moving that way. And, you know, this is probably I think this might have been like the more, I'll scare quote, most complex that I did. But just kind of doing like this hi-hat. So you can see it's pitched down. And then like on the 4th bar, we get kind of like a few re-triggers in here to keep it moving. So I just wanted to like make it sound a little bit different. Anytime you have a re-trigger, though, you do have to be careful. You want to make sure you turn it off afterwards. Otherwise, that sound will keep going, and you'll just hear like the da-da-da-da-da, like just carry on, which can be cool if that's what you want. So this is where I'd say we're starting to get into kind of like the grittier stuff, where I've kind of got a lot of more effects that I've either layered or stacked on top of each other. And then these A's are me just doing like we're using the microphone on the Chaos Pad Mini with an effect and just recording some stuff. So like this isn't anything super exciting. It's just me going. Can be a fun way to get stuff off time or off beat with the M8 as you're recording like these longer tracks. The problem with doing this though is you can't play the back. Maybe you can. I just haven't figured it out. But like as far as I can, like maybe with a song Yes or something, you can get it on. But I found that when you're doing it, like you have to make sure you're kind of maintaining that BPM. Now because of the delay on the when I was recording in was using a delay on the Korg Chaos Pad Mini 2S. I was able to like pretty quickly hear that echo and then like do the kind of sound to it, which was helpful. I then kind of kept doing like all these A's are like vocal takes. So This is like me just going, with a delay. This was longer. I did like a whole bunch, and then I just chopped it out. It just did what I thought was like the more interesting take. I think this was going through like the talk box effect on the Chaos Pad Mini 2S to get like that echo kind of going. And, I was like, I'll turn this. Basically, I wanted to feel like off beat a little bit. So instead of having it be like on the 1, 2, 3, and 4 on the measure, I just went kind of this way where I kind of did it like a little early. And then through these nths in here, to kind of just give it like a weird roll to have like as a bar transition once in a while. Yeah, this was me just breathing. I just went into the Chaos Pad Mini 2 and thought it made like kind of a good riser kind of sound. Actually, maybe not a riser, I guess a decliner, whatever you'd call it. So you can hear like there's some echo, reverbish kind of sound. And one thing I will note, you can hear at this point, you can hear a ton of room noise. So a lot of why you'll see me putting in like low pass filters or other things is trying to eliminate some of that room noise. It just, the microphones do a great job of picking it up, and I'm not running like noise gates and stuff on the tiny microphone on the Korg Chaos Pad Mini 2S. So this one doesn't happen to have it. I guess I was like, whatever, it sounds fine, or it was just so low in the mix I didn't care. But just as a note, leaving these kinds of imperfections in there isn't necessarily a bad thing, and sometimes just like the noise levels can kind of add up and build into something else. What was this last one? Oh, this was me kind of just doing like kind of mouth noise sounds and just seeing like with like this might have been the tape echo. I don't remember, but just kind of doing something and seeing what might work or not. And it probably sounds weird playing these all together. It's like a little bit of a rhythmic mess, but it's all right. And then these two Bs here was I wanted to actually have it like not play anything to start and then kind of dump into. So I basically like just went into the Vox effect here. It just said, come on, let's go. And chopped it. So if you come here and see, you can just see like this is where I did like the vocal chops. I could have gone through, I repeated it multiple times in case I wanted to have multiple slices. I decided against that. I just ended up using the first 4 slices and then put a 5th slice in place so that I don't trigger it and then have it just keep playing or have to drop an off note. But I mean, like, not anything super crazy. Then you can see here, like, I just did like dropped it into a SDL, so send delay. So we have like that echo that just goes for a while. So got that, and then this was basically just saying go. We got a volume with a repeat command, so it just as it says go, it builds up. I then had to create a second effect here, which doesn't have the volume. I probably should have deleted this repeat command, but whatever. But basically, it just keeps the volume effect going without resetting it back to B0. So it kind of builds up the volume. And then on 22, I drop in a pitch command to have it change pitch, which kind of sounds like this. So you kind of hear it building up. In fact, like in the mix, it's super quiet to begin with. So that's where you kind of get that like end there. Now, I want to say like the entire total of this track was about 1:38, if I remember correctly. So it's not like a ton of time for all these 4-bar chunks. And you can see like a lot of times in here, I've tried to make it so like I didn't go 61 to 61 too many times or 51 to 51. I tried to keep it moving, but I also sometimes I would re-record stuff through the Chaos Pad Mini 2 to get some different effects on it, and I just wouldn't like the outcome sometimes. And I think I spent like 3 or 4 hours on this track and was like, okay, I think I'm kind of done. So effectively, like this kind of starts similar, pretty similar to what I had for this original, which I was thinking like this is what I'm going to build up to. But as I kind of got going, I don't know, I just peeled stuff out. I don't really think I ever hit like that. So this is probably as clean as you're going to get, but minus some of the drums and some of the other stuff. I kind of wanted to like start with like that vocal, like the little bit of the Vox kind of sound. So again, like this is where like and I had to keep moving the box. I'll stop it for a second. You'll notice I have like a lot of like A's just mixed in. They randomly kind of appeared because I had started with the 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. And whenever I was like, well, I'm taking out this element, I'm like, okay, now I have room to squeeze in some Vox. Could I have done like this 90 style resampling where I selected multiple tracks and then recorded them or resampled them back down into a single track? I absolutely could, but the more you do that, the harder it comes to be able to like work on your levels and other stuff in your mix. So I tried to instead just be like, okay, I just have to pull out a different element and kind of work with it. But yeah, this is like one of the tracks where I have like 3 of the vocal elements, and I suspect there's like, you can see like I've got a 5 here, so this is probably a resample. You can even hear like the mic. That's funny. Like so you push the mic button to turn on the recording for the mic. You can actually hear that. Sounds like you can hear it as part of this. That was probably accidental, but whatever. You can't hear it that much in the mix. It sounds fine. Like I might as well just be like a part of the kick drum or something. I think like that static must be coming from this one. Maybe not. But you can hear like there's so much line noise here. Or room noise. Oh no, it's this. So like it's not this one making that noise either, but you can hear there's like a lot of just built up. I guess it's this one that's making that kind of noise. Is this bass? But there's like that, like the noise floor I've really let kind of soak into this track, and because it was so dirty and grungy, I'm like, whatever. I guess I kind of got in the I don't mind. Should I have gone through and done some EQs or drop stems from this out to Ableton Live? Probably, but whatever. So I mean, you can hear a lot of textures going on. And I kind of wanted that hold off on that kick coming in. I don't know. I just felt like the kick coming in, like I wanted to feel like it was interesting and like you were missing it. So like bringing it in on this third set of 4 bars felt important to me, and then I wanted to actually like even feel more impressive. So like we got the kick here, but I'm playing an alternate version of the kick where I wanted to have like real ghost notes instead of the other one where like the other alternative of this that's 10 is a little different. So like this just gets like I wanted like the kicks to have some more oomph to it. So we kind of get like this double kick, or like the 2 kick patterns from 90 from the resample, and then like just playing the kick again. like you can hear like that, like almost like that vocal quality coming in. Um, this is what like this track. This I'm not like into like trumpet kind of sounds. I almost left this out. I mostly kind of kept it because of some of the textures coming in. Um, this is just a pretty straight version of the pad, where you kind of hear like it falls apart at the end. But I think this is the one that kind of gets the vocal texture as part of like a resample. Again, I probably went through like the talk box effector or something, or the yoi. So yeah, from here we kind of go into just like an alternate version where it's just kind of like the same ideas, just kind of amplified. You can hear there's actually like a couple sounds in there that sound off time. That's because I was messing with the delays in a weird way. I almost redid it, but I was like, you know what, let's just leave it. So I don't know. Like I will say, anybody that's out here kind of working on stuff, don't feel like you have to make things perfect all the time. I think it's okay to leave in mistakes, especially when you're intentionally leaving the mistakes in because you're like, maybe it adds something or just makes it a little different. The reason I was kind of coming from here was the outro. I spent a lot of time kind of playing with because like a lot of times I'm doing these Dibiase submissions and I'm changing energy levels a lot, and in particular going from like lower energy to higher energy. And I was like, I want to kind of do something here that is, I don't know, like whatever energy level this is, which is kind of low, to like super low energy when we come out of here. So like I kind of like that almost like not really thunderclap, but like kind of like that loud clap with a delay to just kind of be like, okay, we're chilling down, and I've got this. You can hear like all the line noise added up. The noise cuts out, and we just are left with a delay here. That's kind of where I was going with it, I guess. So not like a super high excitement, high energy track. But I don't know. I like just doing like random stuff or trying to surprise people. What other weird stuff did I have here? Yeah, this one, because it has the rolls, these retriggers, I had to put a FD here at the end. Basically, the FD just says off for everything and kills it to make sure it doesn't play anything else. If I turn this way, make it an FE, you'll see why. Because it's just going to re-trigger forever. It's low, but you can hear it. It's just re-triggering there. And it will go forever. I mean, it'll loop back over to the top and get stopped, but that's why I put the FD there. And I like a lot of these have like similar problems. I think this one it's longer, like it might be 4 bars long for the recording. Yeah. And I just wanted like the first bar out of this. So, because if I left it, it would just keep going. What else? Oh, this FC is here to do a fade out. So we go to volume and then repeat F0, which basically just drops the volume by 10 every step, I think, if I remember correctly, until it like kind of goes out. Because otherwise, this is another one that is, I'm just playing like the first quarter or maybe half of this. And if I left it, it would just kind of keep going forever. So what's happening here is this is where we're kind of getting the transition where it's going it plays the first 2 bars and then immediately kind of transitions to fading out really quick. Beyond that, I don't really know that there's a whole lot else to cover for this track. It's actually, I'm going to put it in the probably more tame for like programming. I didn't do a ton of crazy programming. It was instead a crazy amount of resampling and just adding more effect, doing effect work with the Chaos Pad Mini 2S. Which has been, it's been like a great little device to pair these two together because you just dump out effects and just go try stuff really quick and just iterate very quickly. So I totally dug it. On the flip side, I ended up with a much larger bundle when I exported this, but I did put it up on Patreon for anybody that's a member wants to download it. It's there for you to go check out. You can grab the samples, grab the project files, whatever you'd like. But yeah, I'm just gonna play this out, I guess. And anybody that didn't get a chance to check out this track on Dibiasi's stream, so we'll play it out. And besides that, thanks everybody for stopping by. Keep making music, keep having fun. Remember, if it sounds good, it is good. And peace.